Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, it's something a bit different. We are not in the Astra, we're actually in my auntie's car. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be installing the Orskey S800 Dashcam. She's had this for about 2 years now, and I've said I'll fit it for her. So we're going to get that done in today's video. Yeah, so let's get started. What I'll do is I'll flip you round. So obviously here you can see what's included in the kit. So you get a rear camera, which I don't believe we're going to fit, and I'll explain that later. You get a suction cup mount, the camera itself, which is obviously quite nice camera, screen on the back, and it has actual defined buttons and a slot for the memory card. We have a cable here that you can use to attach it to the computer, the actual power cable for the front dash cam as well. You've got a mounting bracket here for the rear, which, as I say, I don't think we're going to use. You've got another kind of mount here for the front, which again I don't think we're going to use. I think we're going to go for the suction cup on this time. Obviously the user manual, and you do have to buy separately. Let's just grab it. A micro SD card. So we've gone for, come on, there we go, a 32 gig, and that's basically in accordance to the requirements on the manual when we've read that. So yeah, so now that I've kind of laid everything out, what we're going to do is we're going to get the memory card installed first. So what we're going to do is we're going to get the card installed in the camera first. Then we're going to attach the suction cup to the window, and what we're going to try and do is make sure that she can't see it from the driver's seat. Obviously she doesn't want it to distract her. So I think really we're going to probably put it just up here, so it's behind the rear view mirror, so, but if needed she can still access it. So yeah, I think we're going to aim for about here, but we'll see where I can get it fitted. And then what we're going to do is we'll cable route. Let's just see if we can get that to focus a bit better. We'll tuck the cable, so there's no cable showing, all the way up the headliner behind this pillar. I've got trim tools to use to pull this pillar out, and then basically we want it down through the dash, and it does plug in just here. So I want it to basically be as hidden as possible for her. I don't want it to be a distraction. Obviously it's been 2 years, but I still don't want it in her face that she has it. I kind of want it to make it as if she still doesn't quite know that it's there. Obviously I know I'm imagining it makes a sound when we attach it. But yeah, so let's get this up on a tripod and we'll record the next step. Okay, so now I've got you on the tripod, what we'll do is we'll get the camera and the SD card, and there's just a nice, it's quite clear, just to pop it in there, and you basically want the gold strips to point towards the, let's just show you there, point towards the screen itself. So let's see if I can get this to click in. Nope. Let's just grab one of the trim tools we have, just to push this down gently. There you go. Obviously I don't have nails, that's why I've struggled with that. So now that that's in, you can see that that's kind of mounted, just seated in there. So yeah, so now that that's in, we're going to get the suction cup and we'll basically attach it, and it just screws. Let's see if I can get it to, there we go. So it just screws into the bottom, the top of the camera. Come on, there we go. So it just screws in there. So what we'll do is we'll get it screwed in, and that way it just means that when we attach the suction cup we know exactly where the camera's going to be. So it just screws on nicely, and then kind of you feel it. You don't obviously need to give it any more of a try. So let's see if we can get you moved around and roughly pointed up there. There we go. So I'm going to try about there. And yeah, so if we just kind of lean over from here you can only just kind of see the corner of it if she looked over there. So that's about head height for somebody. So that actually sits quite nicely. Let's just zoom out a bit there, sorry. So yeah, so now that that's attached and roughly pointing where we want it to, what I'm going to do is I'm going to run the cable. I have obviously had a brief look over the instructions already. If I'll just show you here, it actually shows you pretty much what we're going to do. So obviously the dotted line shows you where they want the wire to go, and that's pretty much where we're going to follow as well. So if we connect this part of the wire first, just dropping the connection there, and it just plugs in the top. So we'll try not to move the rear view mirror, because obviously I don't want to affect that, and I don't want her to have to change all of that. So got that there now. So all I'm going to do is I'll reposition the camera, but all I'm going to do is just tuck it along now. Trying to use one of the trim tools just to help me kind of lift the headliner down a little bit. So I'll get you positioned and we'll time lapse that. So yeah, so now we're on the pillar. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the trim tool and basically pop that pillar out. Just enough so that we can get the wire in. What I'm going to do is, it is slightly raining, so I'm going to do this very quickly, but I'm going to pull this weather trimming all the way down. And they are held in by metal clips, so don't worry, that sounded quite aggressive, but it is just held in by metal clips. Okay, so obviously you see me put the wire kind of behind here, and all I've done is I've just ran it through here, and then you can just see it just slightly popping out there, and it just runs, don't think you'll be able to see that very well, but it just runs basically into the glove box. And then in the glove box here, what we'll do is we'll plug it in here, and then what I obviously want to do is get rid of all of this excess, so I'm going to use the little tie that the power supply comes with, and I'm going to tie up the wire and try and tuck it down here. So I'll do that and then I'll come back to use. So you can see this here now, so I've just tied it up, so I'm just going to tuck it in here, and might pull a little bit of it, tuck it in, and then when we close this, pull a little bit out, and there it is, nicely tucked away. So obviously we've got the camera now, wire you can't see, nicely tucked away, all behind here. Obviously this isn't an issue because this isn't an airbag pillar. Obviously if it was in one of the middle or the rear, then you'd kind of have an issue. And it's all just tucked away behind the weather trimming. Let's make sure this fully clips in. There we go. So yeah, so what we'll do now is, let's just point you up here and pop the key in. door as well. I'm just turning the volume down on the radio because obviously I don't want that to go. So obviously there you can see it's started up quite nicely. It's recording straight away. I'll need to adjust the date, but if we get a zoom in on that, yeah, so as you can see, nicely recording there. As I said, the date is wrong, which I can sort out. It does explain that in the instructions, which I'll show you in a minute. So yeah, so a nice, easy, simple install really. I'm quite happy with that. Obviously, I know it's only a dash cam and it's not something like massive, like obviously intercooler or exhaust or anything like that, but the thing with my channel, some things are going to be like this. There are just going to be little odds and ends that I do. And that's kind of what the content that I want to do. I don't want to just be constantly upgrading things. I want to just do the general stuff that people do, but obviously nobody really shows. Okay, so just coming back on what I said earlier, obviously about the rear camera, and I'm not going to fit it. Basically, I know it's quite a simple install. But you screw the bracket in, plug it into the front one, but it also requires, well, I believe it requires you to tap into the reverse lights, their wiring, and as much as if this was my own car, I'd do that. With it being my auntie's car, I don't want to tap into wiring. Obviously, if she wants to sell it, it's going to be an issue for the next owner, which I know a lot of people don't really care about. They'll do it, whatever. But it's something that I don't want to do in her car. I mean, she's quite happy. I've spoke to her about it to see whether she really wants the rear camera, and she's quite happy with the front one. So that's what we're going to go with for now. Obviously, we'll keep this handy so that if she does change her mind, we can get it sorted and maybe try and find a less destructive way of attaching this wire. So yeah, so that's the reason we're not actually going to use the rear camera for now. We may eventually, but I think for now she's quite happy with just the front. So yeah, so pop that out now because that's fine. So thanks guys for watching. I do appreciate all the support that I've gotten so far on the channel. Yeah, so as I say, thanks again. Please like, subscribe, comment. Let me know of anything that you want me to do. Anything I can do better. I take all criticism on board. I am obviously just doing this kind of to boost my confidence and to, I don't know, just record what I do in car terms, basically. The channel obviously is mainly going to be based on the Astra, but there will be other cars kind of in the channel here and there. Again, thanks guys for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye bye.